In today's video, you have a fat loss goal. You have a physique that's here and you want to get here. I'm going to tell you how long it's going to take and what your expectations should be. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Arvela from ProPhysique.com and I am a fat loss expert. That's what I'm here to help you guys with, to understand the nuances of how long it's going to take, what your approach should look like, and what your expectations can be. And so today's question came from my Instagram direct message. I love to answer your questions on Instagram. I also love if you just leave a comment below and I can get questions from there. But the idea is helping you guys reach your fat loss goals by giving you the information and how you can apply it to yourself. So today's question goes like this. Could you help me with a few questions? I'm now 76 kilograms, so about 168 pounds. I'm at 17% body fat and I want to get to 13%. I can aggressively cut pretty easily and still hit protein. How long will it take? So first things first, what you have to figure out is how much lean body mass you have, okay? So if you're at 168 pounds at 17% body fat, you're at about 140 pounds of lean body mass. So the number we need to get to for you to reach your goal is about 160 pounds. So what we're looking to do is lose about 8 pounds of body fat. Now that doesn't sound that difficult, but it comes down to how quickly you can use it. I've got a guideline as a coach. I've helped thousands of people reach their fat loss goals, and over that time you learn how fat loss works. If you think of the human body as a fat storage machine, because it is, the more fat you have, the faster you can lose it. The less fat you have, the slower you're going to lose it. So when I have somebody who's well over 20% body fat, we can expect to lose 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds in a week, sometimes 2 to 3% of your total body weight. However, when we get into that 15 to 20% range, I suggest never trying to lose more than 1% of your total body weight per week. Once we get below 15, I'm suggesting about 0.5% of your body weight per week. So for your example, if you're at 168 pounds, 1% of your weight at the beginning of this would be about 1.6 or 1.7 pounds. So I would just round that down to about 1.5. So the first week, if you drop 1.5 pounds, the second week, if you drop 1.5 pounds, you're already down 3 pounds. You've only got 5 pounds to go. However, now you have less body fat to pull from. And so you're probably already getting closer under that 15% mark. And so what you start to notice is you start to lose about 1 pound a week. So all in all, I would say you should plan for 6 to 8 weeks to reach your goal. Now, here's the caveat. You have to keep your muscle, because if you're losing total body fat percentage, you must maintain lean body mass, or your weight's going to have to get lower because you actually have less fat-free mass. So how do we lose body fat and ensure that we're not losing muscle? You need to do resistance training at least 3 days a week, okay? You gotta do what you did to get the muscle. If you don't do some type of resistance training, if you're playing a sport, if you're active, that's gonna help you keep muscle. But I suggest at least 3 days a week of training. I also suggest that you keep your protein at least your goal weight or higher. For example, I just told you that your goal weight is 160 pounds. I would suggest keeping your protein at about 160 grams per day or higher. Now you could probably go as low as 130 or as high as like 180 or 190 with no negative consequences, but you just want to make sure you're taking an adequate protein so that you're not losing your fat-free mass, your hard-earned muscle, your lean body mass, because then if you do, you're going to negatively impact your metabolism. Muscle is metabolically challenging for the body to keep. To keep it, you must continue to eat. If you lose it, negatively adapt that metabolism. So you're actually going to have to eat less to lose weight, and you're going to look worse. You've heard the term skinny fat. This is where when we are at a body weight that should be a good look for us. However, because our muscle mass or our fat-free mass is so compromised, we have like a loose look to our skin. Okay. So over the course of those 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to notice you start off losing successfully, but then what happens when you hit a sticking point? And this is a question that a lot of people address, because this is where coaching comes in. This is where understanding how the human body adapts. There's 2 parts of this equation when it comes to fat loss. The way I look at it is how much energy are we consuming and how much energy are we using throughout the day. If you try to aggressively cut and you consume very low energy, what's going to happen is your output is going to get lower. You're going to be lazy. You're not going to move as much. You're going to cut your workouts short. So what I suggest is, instead of just focusing on severe calorie restrictions, I focus on a slight calorie restriction and some form of activity that is going to allow you to burn more calories without negatively impacting your day. This is why you guys have seen my videos with millions of views on the topic of walking. Okay, walking is such a way to burn calories that does not positively impact hunger, meaning it doesn't make you hungrier. For a long time, high intensity cardio was all the rage. However, I did it, I tried it, and what I found was while yes, you burn a lot of calories in a short amount of time, you're also starving for the rest of the day and you're exhausted. So what ends up happening? You overcompensate by eating a little bit too much and you undercompensate by not moving enough the rest of the day. So while that 30 or minute or an hour session of cardio, you burned a lot of calories, the 24-hour window, you burned less total calories. So when people, I tell them like HIIT cardio can actually be worse for fat loss, they look at me like I'm crazy. As I've been doing this a long time, I switched to a treadmill a while back and the results were magical. Now, if you don't have a treadmill, you can just focus on your daily step count. How much are you moving? Okay. These are the things that we look at for fat loss. Energy in, energy out. If you can make an adjustment to your calories and you can make an adjustment to your activity, when you hit a sticking point, you'll have that data. You'll say, well, I'm at 5,000 steps per day and I'm at 1,700 calories per day. Well, what if I dropped my calories to 1,500 and brought my steps up to 8,000 a day? That's going to allow us to continue that deficit. Really, that is it. It's a pretty straightforward question. You want to lose about 4% of your body fat. You're going to take about 6 to 8 weeks to do so. But again, it's probably going to be a little bit easier in the beginning. You're going to have to make at least one, perhaps two adjustments, because as you get closer to that magic 12, 10% body fat for men, fat gets difficult to lose because it's not stubborn. We become stubborn. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this and I'll talk to you tomorrow.